Hello everyone, I'm Krasi and I will be talking about interesting celestial event which will determine a new cycle that we are entering, we the people. And actually everywhere from many medias you hear about November and December 2021 and the danger which these 2 months might bring us. Indeed, November and December will not be easy, but let's see why. What are these 2 months bringing us and what future events they will also provoke? This year we have four eclipses. Last year we had six. This year all four eclipses are happening on the axis of Scorpio Taurus, a very mighty, very important axis, and the very last eclipses of the year are happening in November and December. On the 19th of November is the third one, and the fourth one is on the 4th of December. Along with these two eclipses, there will be some squares on the sky. I will not look at these squares. I will not look at aspects on the sky because you can hear this information from everywhere and I do not want to make repetition. I will tell you about other celestial events which you will not be able to hear about anywhere else. Because only the ancient Babylonian astrology, the ancient Mesopotamians were really sky observers. They would really look at the heliacal rises of the planets. What is this meaning? This is the moment when a planet is becoming visible after a period of invisibility, or the moment when the planet is becoming invisible, reaching certain distance to the sun. So you hear many theories about this, but there are very, very specific moments when the planet and the star, by the way, become visible. When they become visible, they start a new cycle. And these cycles are so important to the world. They always bring world events without exception, no exception. Let me bring you back to Mars, and Mars in October 2019. Mars is usually 15, the cycle of Mars is 15 to 7 months when he becomes invisible. Then he has some certain period of being near the sun, hidden in the rays of the sun. Then he appears for the first time in certain zodiacal constellation and a degree when he starts a new cycle. And from his cycle, from the beginning of his cycle, a new events are coming to the world. Mars is the unpredictable planet. He is the one who rules the natural disasters, diseases, wars, pandemics, plagues. Well, he can be the good soldier. He can give us the very good drive towards something. We will see towards what? Mars can be very strategic as well. He is also the one who is ruling the generals, the army leaders. So he is not only bad and good, he's very complex, he's very multi-layered, and he's the one who is closing a cycle and starts another cycle in December 22. So on December 22, Mars starts a new cycle. And what is he bringing us is very important. Let's see historically. But first, let's go back to tell you why, so that all this, what I'm telling you, makes more sense to you. So in October 2019, Mars became visible for the first time after a period of invisibility. He became visible for the first time in Virgo. No, October 2019. Remember this time because just a couple of months later we started talking about this world health problem created, but still it is a health problem because Mars, who is ruling the plague, who is ruling disease, became visible in Virgo, the sign which naturally rules the sixth house in astrology, which is health. So obviously, along with other celestial events, which is the Saturn in position and Pluto-Saturn conjunction and many others, Mars gave us health condition for the whole world, and he's completing this cycle. to start a new one. So he brought the health crisis, which is somehow going to a closure, to be replaced with something else. But let me bring you again to this health crisis. It started in October 2019, and Mars is appearing again on the sky to start a new cycle on the 22nd of December 2021, when he will appear in Scorpio. But let's go back to history. Last time when Mars also appeared in Virgo was in 2002, and we had another SARS health crisis at that time, but it wasn't that heavy because Saturn helped in the year 2020, 21, 19, which was not the case in the year 2002. But as you see, Mars was the author of the health crisis. Okay, this is just to illustrate to you how important he is for determining such types of world events, usually linked to crisis. But he also has his good nature, which is what? The drive to knowledge and research. He gave us what? On mundane level, yes, he created crisis because people experience this as crisis. On personal level, many people were driven towards knowledge, research, checking, is it really worth it to be afraid from this created situation, man-made created situation or not? So many people actually were driven into something very useful for them and very uplifting for their consciousness, for their spiritual evolution. So actually, Mars was also the very good drive to research, because this is also the sign of Virgo. Research, know, share your knowledge with others, teach others. This is Virgo. Okay, Mars is completing his cycle, and he's becoming visible now in the sign of Scorpio. Very important. He's ruling Scorpio. Yes, Scorpio is ruled by Pluto, obviously, the new ruler, but the old ruler, the classical traditional ruler, is Mars of Scorpio. He will be very strong. He appears as a morning star, means he will be visible for initially early in the mornings. So he appears in Scorpio on the 11 degrees of Scorpio. And let me remind you, these eclipses which are taking place this year are also emphasizing on the sign of Scorpio, Taurus, money involved, depth. Also in Scorpio, along with the fact that you have the Antares, the royal star of the army leader, in the 11th degree of Scorpio, where Mars is appearing, is benevolent, very interesting degree, because there you have stars which make people knowing, knowledgeable. So on personal levels, this is giving us totally different drive again to knowledge, but depth, true knowledge. Another thing, what is also the sign of Scorpio? First of all, Mars is appearing with Ketu. Ketu is like exalted. I'm not saying exalted because we do not know for sure where the lunar nodes are exalted, but the Ketu and Rahu, the north and the south node, are like exalted, like uplifted, very well placed in the signs of Scorpio and Taurus. So Ketu being on his place of so-called exaltation, Mars will appear with him. Scorpio Ketu becomes very philosophical. Mars appears to close the cycle of disease, so we expect the topic of the man-made, man-created disease to somehow cease to exist very strongly for us, for other issue, other matter to come into being, into place. What would this be? Well, to tell you, Scorpio is what? Scorpio is all what is under the ground, hidden deeply. It is, first of all, this is also this hidden place of Ereshkigal. It is the goddess of the netherworld. She loves the sign of Scorpio. Ereshkigal. She's one of the, one of the appearances of Venus. Magic. People will be more driven on, I'm telling you on personal level, to the occult, to deep, deep research. People may be also driven to all these sources and treasures underground, stones, which are also by Saturn, by the way. The oil prices, oil, Pluto, Mars, Scorpio may have really may go higher, may be emphasized upon. Also, other resources may be found through disappearance of Mars. Mars is also in Scorpio, can also mean death. Could be that people who, for some reasons, chose the poison may really, unfortunately, some people may exit. This is all for other reasons, but Mars in Scorpio on mundane level can mean that some people will, quite many people may exit, others will be awakened. Third will be very much driven towards occult, towards the knowledge of Ereshkigal, the goddess of the netherworld. Other thing, oil of course will be in what I told you. Other thing, I will remind you, this appearance of Mars, I was researching when Mars appeared also in Scorpio. It was back in July 1975 when a cycle was closed. The oil prices went so high that there was a fund raised to support the losses of the companies which were directly linked to the oil industry. So this was one. Another thing was the war in Vietnam finished. So a cycle is closed. That's why I'm telling you, Mars is not necessarily bringing war. He's just bringing another cycle. We're closing the cycle when the disease will be emphasized on, but to start another cycle. Unfortunately, what I didn't really like is that there were many nuclear weapons being tested by Russia in different countries. In Kazakhstan, many nuclear events, all very, very malefic, very dangerous, took place. Also, one laser weapon was tested. So you see, all Pluto root activities, laser weapon, nuclear weapons were tested back in 1974. So nuclear event is quite possible to take place. This is one thing. We have to see, of course, I will make second part of this video when the event approaches, because I still need to research the horoscopes of different countries to see which country may really be affected the most by that. I'm planning to do this, but it may be too early now. I'm just giving you the general overview of what might be expected to happen. Later, I'll be researching the horoscopes of major world forces, if you want to call them that way. And then we'll be looking at this in a better detail. But just to tell you that this thing has two sides. One is indeed malefic, this nuclear side, laser stuff. By the way, in 1974, Microsoft, by the evil, and I'm not worried to say that Bill Gates and his partner started in 1975, what is more malefic and evil and indecent than this? Microsoft was founded in 1975 when Mars entered Scorpio. Also, so you can see, we can be driven to true knowledge, because also in the sign of Scorpio, along with the fact that we have the star Antares, which is the star of the army leader, the decent army leader, we also have knowledge, sacred degrees of Hermes, the degrees of true knowledge. We will be able to dig out a lot of true knowledge of the matrix, and people will be seriously driven to this. So this is the other cycle that we are starting, but the malefic part is also there. Nuclear or dirty weapons can also take place, but also underground resources, new resources can come to existence. This is another thing. But in any case, what is probably important for you to know is that we are closing the cycle of Mars appearing in Virgo, which was directly related to this pandemic man-made. So people, don't take the poison. I keep repeating this because December can also be related to exiting this world. And it's better to do it in a natural way, not, not when we really are destined to, not through a chemical which is not known to the human body. So we still have time to be wise. And let's see what Mars in Scorpio will bring us. But in any case, we're closing a cycle to start another, which may be deeper than this. Crisis on one level, but then uplifting and awakening on another level. Well, expect the second part of this video for sure, when I'll be getting into better detail. This was just an overview. Thank you for your attention.